local app. I'm Christine Devine. Take a look right there at some of the current temperatures out there. We're looking at 83 at LAX, 80s there along the coast, Chino 97, San Bernardino 99. Some areas did hit 100 degrees today. Scenes of green, meanwhile, at Echo Park on this St. Patrick's Day, where people tried to beat the heat in the shade, under umbrellas, or on the lake in a pedal boat. Even the ducks and geese staying out of the sun. As hot as it is today, the peak of this heat wave is still ahead, but that looks nice out there. More on the scorching heat wave. Let's go live to Adam Kruger there, forecast.
Hey, yeah, so we're, I would say, essentially like in the peak of the heat wave right now, but it's a 4-day peak, okay? So today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, all will be essentially around the same high temperatures and significant. We've got a lot of highs we're going to run through a little bit later, but I just want to show you for downtown LA, which we consider like the official climate station for the city of Los Angeles. Reliable records go back to the 1800s here. And for this date, the record high, hottest March 17th we've ever had, is 94. Well, now 98 degrees, the high for today. Now, the hottest all-time March high temperature for LA is 99. So we were only 1 degree away from that. And now this is only the sixth of any day in March time where it's been 95 or hotter. So even that is pretty rare to get into mid-90s this time of year. And here we are with upper 90s for Los Angeles. And yes, some inland areas, valleys, i.e. had a couple of spots hit or exceed 100 degrees. We can see on the temps right now across our area, Palm Springs is the hottest spot on the map at the moment at 102. Up into the high desert, it's upper 80s to around 90 degrees. And keep in mind, these are current temperatures. It was a little bit hotter overall a little bit earlier this afternoon. We've seen slight cooling along the coast as we often get. The sea breeze starts moving in during the afternoon and starts cooling down some of the coastal areas sooner than farther inland spots. It's 91 right now downtown, where again it hit 98 a little bit earlier, but still, as you can see, we've got those mid and upper 90s across various parts of the valleys and the Inland Empire. Anaheim at 98 degrees right now, very hot. Probably a lot of cool drinks being sold over there. Disneyland. All right, so as we look at the heat alerts, these are in effect through Friday, so nothing's really changed here. We've got a mix of heat advisories and extreme heat warnings. Not that it's going to be much cooler on the other side, going from the pink to the orange right here. Basically, again, the next few days will be just as hot as what we saw today. All right, temperatures as we continue into our evening. Obviously, we are way up there for the next few hours. Notice by, let's say, 9 o'clock, we're down to the 70s. Eventually, after midnight, we're going to find those temps falling into the 60s. That's as cool as it gets overnight. And then highs tomorrow will be around the mid-90s, maybe close to upper 90s for LA. A little cooler near the coast, obviously warmer farther inland. We'll talk about that. We'll recap all the crazy high temperatures we had in our area today, and we'll show you slight cooling by the weekend. That's a little bit later. Christine?
It's kind of fun doing your job there for a second, pointing out the numbers. All right. Some areas are hotter than others. We go live to Christina Gonzalez in Sunland in the San Fernando Valley. Christina.
Yeah, so I'm at a Stonehurst Park, and I'm the only, me and my camera person, James, are the only ones out here, because the only people out here in this kind of heat, and I'm talking 92, are people who have to work in this. Take a look. Putting water in the portable air cooler at the auto shop. He has to do this every 4 hours.
What can I do? I don't have any choice. I have to do it.
People forget you have to work in the heat.
Yeah, we do. Come on, get you.
So does the food vendor at Gorditas Estilo Zacatecas.
Super hot today. It's 94. We're sweating right here in the middle of, right here in the tent.
Gotta laugh. You can't cry, say the flower vendors.
Bye-bye.
And the lady with an umbrella making her way to a bus stop for a trip to the doctor she cannot miss. No canceling jobs today, say the roofers picking up materials.
200 grados.
200 degrees, he says. That's how hot things can get up on a roof. When you're using a heat gun to install the roof underlayment, that's what goes under all these shingles, which have to get installed before it gets even hotter. When it's 88 before noon, those who work with animals like horse trainers try to get done early. Well, at least the horses are done. Still plenty of work for the humans.
It's so hot out right now.
You know, how these things weigh how much? About 100?
These bales right here particularly probably weigh over 110 pounds. Rain or shine, heat, doesn't matter. You got to keep going.
And back here live, you can see that actually it is just now that we're beginning to see some people out here at Stonehurst Park at the horse arena bringing out their horses, not even for trots or canters, but little slow walks just to get them out. But look at the dust and the kind of, the heat that comes out of the arena. But, these are young horses. You have to let them out to stretch out a little bit, but they do it carefully. These are working horses, as it were. Now, later on, they're supposed to be, as I show you over here, because look at the emptiness of this. But there's actually supposed to be a baseball team practicing out here later on today. They're, told us it would be here, but right now it's too hot. They might not. Check back with us at 5:30. We'll let you know who shows up here, if anybody. Just keep hydrated and remember, it's really hot for us because it's March and we're not used to this kind of heat. September, we could probably say, it's bad. But right now, just make sure you're drinking water and give yourself a break. And our hats off to the people working in this, including my camera person, James. Back to you. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in Sunland. Back to you, Christine.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Much respect for everybody who has to work outside in these conditions that you just showed us.
The roofers. I mean, I had no idea it got that hot up there. That was brutal. That was, I knew it got hot, but yeah. Hats off to them.
All right.
And to everybody out there, be safe.
Yeah, we'll see you again at 5:30 for more. New 5, Skyfox over Encino. Oh, wasted water here. A sheared hydrant. This is at the Calenva Drive and Havenhurst Avenue. Water can be seen shooting into the sky a little over an hour ago after a landscaping truck with a trailer suspected hitting the hydrant. Right now, there are no reports of injury as crews work to turn off the valve. Rebecca Grossman will remain in prison after a state appeals court upheld her murder conviction. Grossman, the co-founder of the Grossman Burn Foundation, was found guilty of murdering 2 young brothers in a 2020 hit and run in Westlake Village. You might recall this story. Prosecutors say she was speeding after drinking when her SUV struck 11-year-old Mark and 8-year-old Jacob Iskander in a crosswalk. Grossman was sentenced to 15 years to life for second-degree murder, vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, and hit-and-run driving. Tensions are escalating in the Middle East after high-profile assassinations. Iran says Israeli airstrikes killed security chief Ali Larijani and Basij leader Gholam Reza Soleimani. And Israel is calling these latest strikes a major blow to Tehran, as President Trump claims the campaign has successfully weakened Iran's nuclear program. The Trump administration is facing internal backlash. National Terrorism Director Joe Kent has resigned, arguing Iran posed no immediate threat to the U.S. and he can't support the war. The president dismissed it, labeling Kent weak on security. The conflict is now surging. U.S. forces intercepted drones over Baghdad today. All attacks in the Strait of Hormuz disrupt global shipping and spike oil prices. Despite the chaos, President Trump insists the U.S. does not need NATO's help and refuses to rule out deploying ground troops. Tehran says they will not attack neighbors unless their land is used for strikes. They vow to hit back hard against any nation assisting U.S. or Israeli forces. Iran reports over 1,300 civilian deaths. The Pentagon confirms 13 U.S. service members have been killed so far. Several candidates for governor have a plan to reduce your pain at the gas pump. Democrats Matt Mahan and Antonio Villaraigosa are calling for California's 61-cent per gallon gas tax to be suspended, as well as a rollback of refinery regulations. This mirrors the platforms of Republicans Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco. Meanwhile, State Senator Tony Strickland of Huntington Beach introduced a bill last month to immediately eliminate the gas tax. Governor Newsom has resisted so far, warning that suspending the gas tax benefits oil companies more than consumers. More now on that top U.S. national security official who resigned today over the war in Iran. He claims President Trump was pushed into the conflict by the Israeli government. Fox's Aisha Hasni has more from Washington.
Their anti-aircraft machinery is gone, everything is gone, their leaders are gone.
President Trump says Iran's military has been completely decimated and the U.S. is close to ending the threat posed by the regime. But here at the White House, the political fight is heating up. Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, resigned on Tuesday, claiming the president was pushed into the conflict by the Israeli government. He wrote in part, quote, "I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation." President Trump pushing back on that claim.
It's a good thing that he's out because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was.
But Democrats say the resignation is just another sign of turmoil within the White House and claim President Trump has no plan for victory.
It seems like they're always a few hours away from hanging the next mission accomplished sign around here, and we continue to suffer.
It came just hours after Europe rejected the president's push for a coalition to guard the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. President Trump claims it was a test that NATO failed. European leaders say they don't want to get dragged into what could become a drawn-out conflict.
There will be no military solution here. There will only be a political solution.
And the president says he is now delaying his visit to China so he can stay and focus on Iran. At the White House, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
As the Middle East situation evolves, Fox is partnering with the Red Cross to support U.S. service members and their families. You can support our troops by following the QR code right there on your screen. Your donation helps the armed forces meet their rapidly changing needs. Coming up, the legacy of labor leader Cesar Chavez under scrutiny. Celebrations in his honor being canceled nationwide after allegations rise that United Farm Workers Union calls shocking. What's behind the controversy? And travel troubles mounting as unpaid TSA workers call out. Security stretched thin at airports nationwide. And a reminder, it is St. Patrick's Day. You're seeing some green right there. It's a live look from Hennessy's Tavern in Dana Point, where celebrations are underway. Green beer, please. Troubling allegations against one of the largest and most iconic Chicano figures in history. The United Farm Workers Union is halting Cesar Chavez celebrations over claims possibly involving abuse of young women or minors. Fox 11's Haley Winslow live now with what we know and how it's impacting events celebrating the Chicano labor leader. Haley.
Yeah, Christine, the late labor leader, was such a legend. His name lives on street signs, including the one right in front of us, Cesar Chavez Avenue, as well as schools and parks. But the union calling these allegations deeply troubling, involving family matters, and serious enough to cancel all their planned events with the upcoming holiday. For decades in LA, Cesar Chavez Day has meant marches, music, and a movement, all to honor a civil rights icon who fought for farm workers across California. Cesar Chavez co-founded the United Farm Workers Labor Union, leading strikes and boycotts that changed laws and inspired generations. But this year, the UFW and Cesar Chavez Foundation is canceling planned activities for the March 31st state holiday, following profoundly shocking allegations of historic abuse while serving as union president. In a statement Tuesday, the union says allegations that very young women or girls may have been victimized are crushing.
I think the good should outweigh the bad. I don't know. I haven't read anything about the allegations. And
his legacy is really important for everyone. You know, freedom, así se puede, yes we can. You know, the pressure to the government of the United States for us as immigrants.
Other Cesar Chavez events will still go on, organizer Ruben Rodriguez says, including his, one of the largest, called March for Justice, that draws thousands.
The allegations being made have to be at least 60 years old, maybe 70. For the people here, we are dealing with real issues affecting the community. At least for the march we're having on the 22nd, we're asking for amnesty now.
From celebration to reflection, Cesar Chavez Day is taking on a different tone this year as the community grapples with how to honor a legacy that now feels more complex. The union now asking allies and supporters to instead take part in immigration justice events and acts of service in their own community, especially on the holiday, which is March 31st. Reporting live, I'm Haley Winslow. I'll send it back to you, Christine.
Haley, I'm sure you've been checking social media on this as well. A lot of people commenting on this, and a lot of people very stunned by these allegations.
Yeah, I mean, he was somebody that so many people looked up to, really a hero. So this is extremely disturbing, especially coming from somebody who led the organization.
All right, more to come, I'm sure, as we don't know a lot about this yet, or the accusations. Taking a live look at LAX travel turbulence across America. If you plan on flying anytime soon, arrive early, be prepared to wait. Airports are being hit by two major issues: powerful storm system on the other side of the country, and of course, TSA employees still working without pay. TSA agents are not being paid because of the DHS shutdown, leading to high call-outs and jam-packed security lines. The paychecks being distributed now rely on the White House and Senate Democrats reaching a deal on immigration enforcement. Democrats want to rein in ICE and sent a new proposal to the White House Monday night. Republicans say it's not a serious offer. Once the government fully reopens, TSA agents will receive back pay, but only time will tell how long that will take. Let's talk now again about the weather. Adam, you said it's going to be really hot this week. We've still got a whole week to go.
Yeah, we got a couple more days where it's going to be just like today. And this is essentially about as hot as it gets this time of year in March. We mentioned earlier how we were 1 degree shy of the all-time March record of 99 for LA. Got to 98 officially downtown today. But some spots got a little hotter than that. So let me get out of the way. You can just focus on your particular area, and you're going to see, I mean, I just crammed a lot of numbers on here so you get a sense of the fact that inland areas, pretty much the highs were between 95 and 100 degrees. A couple spots got at 2 or a little above 100 in a couple locations. Across the mountains, we had very warm temps in the 80s as well. Along the coast, we also saw some 90s and a few 80s along the coast also. And again, tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, the map is going to look very similar. So we have dangerous heat through Friday. That means inland 90s to around 100 degrees. This weekend, yes, it starts cooling down, but it's still going to be very warm for March. We're still going to see inland areas in the 80s this weekend. Average, by the way, is 70 this time of year. So while 80s might sound pretty good compared to what we have now, it's still way warmer than normal. And then you mentioned, Christine, the winter storm on the east side of the country right now. So we've got the jet stream, which is the river of fast moving winds in the atmosphere that kind of controls everything at the surface. It's way out of whack right now. So we have this ridge of high pressure here. We've got the heat. Winds go up like this and then kind of do the opposite, dive down, bringing much colder air out of Canada down across the Midwest. See some snow flying right here down through the East Coast, even the Southeast, seeing very cold temperatures for this time of year. But that area of high pressure, it's over us all week long, and therefore we stay hot. All right, let's look at the overnight lows before we show you the highs. So the forecast for tonight, it is a lot of 60s for the lows. That is warm for March. Might even be a couple pockets where it's more like 70 degrees in some of the valleys. And then as we go into tomorrow, again, the map similar to today. So across the high desert, it's 90s. The low desert, over 100 degrees. In a little bit closer, you're just going to find a lot of 90s here. The only exception would be along the coast, where it's going to be a little bit cooler, I think, than what we saw today, but still 80 or low 80s or even mid 80s will be possible along the coast. Quick look at your 7-day. 90s through Friday. This is for LA. 80s over the weekend and more 80s coming next week. Christine?
And the contrast between here and the other part of the country is just so huge. All right, still ahead. A live fire Marine Corps demonstration goes dangerously wrong. Now officials are calling it a 1 in a million event. Could Cuba be next on President Trump's list? He's calling it a big honor to take the island nation in the face of the crippling energy crisis.
I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba.
Could the U.S. take Cuba? President Trump saying tonight, as you heard there, it would be an honor, and he's not holding back on why. The president says the war with Iran will end soon, and he's already hinting at his next move. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, he's now threatening what he calls a friendly takeover of Cuba as the island faces a severe energy crisis.
In Havana, candles and flashlights are necessities, while the country faces a worsening energy crisis triggered by the United States. The White House disrupted Cuba's oil supplies from Venezuela after capturing Nicolas Maduro. And Monday, the island's power grid collapsed, plunging 11 million people into darkness.
We can't do anything. I eat in the dark, I have breakfast in the dark, I shower in the dark, always everything in the dark, all night. What else can I say?
U.S. and Cuban officials are discussing a solution, but President Trump isn't holding back his true desire.
I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth?
What I hope he means is that we're going to get a democracy where the people of Cuba pick their leaders.
According to the New York Times, the Trump administration has made clear to the Cubans that no meaningful progress can be made until Cuba's president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, is removed from power.
The ideal situation is that President Trump is able to do what his predecessors were not able to do, which is to get Cuba to change its behavior long term and change its regime.
To help its economic situation, Cuba's government is moving to allow Cubans living abroad to invest in private businesses in their home country. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Developing tonight, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been ordered to testify before Congress regarding the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case. The House Oversight Committee wants answers on how records were managed under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Bondi is set to appear April 14th to address allegations that officials redacted too much information and mishandled victim details. The DOJ maintains it followed all laws and says the subpoena is unnecessary. Bank of America has agreed to settle a lawsuit over claims it ignored suspicious transactions tied to Jeffrey Epstein. The suit accused the bank of enabling Epstein's sex trafficking by overlooking red flags, including $170 million in payments from private equity billionaire Leon Black. Because of the deal, Black, considered a critical witness, will no longer have to give a deposition that was scheduled for today. Terms were not disclosed, but victims' lawyers call the settlement a major step toward justice. The details in a Marine Corps live fire demonstration over Camp Pendleton that went dangerously wrong in October. Now, you may recall that incident. An artillery shell exploded early, scattering shrapnel onto a closed section of Interstate 5. 2 CHP vehicles were hit there, but no one hurt. A new report commissioned by the Marines calls the explosion a 1 in a million defect with no negligence found. That demonstration was marking the Marines' 250th anniversary. It was attended by Vice President Vance and other officials. Coming up, for the first time in more than a decade, oil is flowing through a controversial California pipeline. And racism allegations rocking a local college. Students at Pomona College are speaking out about disturbing claims involving their peers, even a faculty member. And we're back looking at Tennessee's in Dana Point. You wish you were there, right? Where corned beef burgers are being served and Guinness beer pouring. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
I want to go. Christine, will you go with me?
I will.
Let's hop in the car right now. Let's make it a dinner. All right, let's talk about traffic right now. It'd probably take us a long time to get there. We've got some slow spots for sure. Let's point out this one right here, stall on 210 East around Azusa and Glendora, so it's a little slow going right there. In Orange County, 55 North and on the 5 North, we have wrecks with slow travel leading up to both of those spots. On the south side, usual delays, 710 North, a couple of minor issues there. Near downtown, we have the 110 North with a stalled vehicle and 101 North around Hollywood, a wreck with slow travel there. Now we'll look at some other traffic hotspots.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
You're watching the Fox 11 News at 5.
And right there, a gorgeous live look outside. A rare winter heat wave hitting Southern California. Hello, Santa Monica. Look at the water there. If you're thinking of heading to the coast for some relief, do be aware of some beach problems. LA County health officials are warning against getting in the water at several local beaches due to the high bacteria levels. We're talking Santa Monica Canyon Creek at Will Rogers State Beach, Santa Monica Pier, Marie Canyon Storm Drain at Puerto Beach, Escondido Creek at Escondido State Beach, Topanga Canyon Beach in Malibu, and Malibu Lagoon at Surfrider Beach. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez has been talking to people on this extremely hot, sunny Southern California day. She joins us live again from Sunland.
Yeah, from Stonehurst Park, when we last talked to you, it was 92. It's already gone down to 87. So it is coming down, and that is cool enough for the kids that I told you about. This is a group of baseball players, and they're actually ranked 3rd in the nation. Not only are they out here, they're going to be careful, they're drinking lots of water. You know, we also spoke to kids in school who say they had PE today. Listen to all this. How hot is it if you had to describe it?
Maybe like I'm on fire. It's like really hot, especially if we have to do PE.
Oh, did they make you do PE today?
Yeah.
What are you doing out here in this heat?
We're getting a little bit of extra work in before he has practice today. He plays for the Canes Nation West, which is a big organization out of the Midwest. We travel a lot, so you go to Arizona, Texas, it's 110. Kids are playing in it. So get them used to it. Little hard work doesn't hurt.
It doesn't bother you, the heat?
No.
So what do you do to stay cool?
Drink water.
Lots of water, not only for the humans, but for the animals. Keep in mind, this is heat for us really difficult because it's not September, it's March. We're not used to this kind of heat. Dogs, horses, those animals, they have not shed their winter coats yet. So they're going to feel it a lot more. And so keep that in mind. You walk your dogs, people who are working their horses out here, also keeping that in mind. And I use the word work because for some of these animals and some of these ranchers, these are working animals. They work them in the early morning, the afternoon. And we also talked earlier about the humans who have to work in this. The roofers who don't have the luxury of saying, I can't show up to work. And when they're up there, it's 180 degrees when they're working with the blowtorches and so forth. The same thing goes for people working in kitchens, the vendors out there. According to the labor statistics from the department, approximately 32 million workers in the U.S., this is about a fifth of the workforce, hold jobs requiring significant outdoor exposure during the summer heat. And that doesn't even include the people who are not counted, like the vendors, the flower vendors, and so forth. So it's going to be a long week. Just telling people out there, keep in mind, pace yourself. Like one of the delivery people told me that, you know, he may have a schedule, but he's pacing himself because he knows at the end of the day, you just got to get through it. I'm Christina Gonzalez. Be safe out there in Sunland. Back to you, Christine.
So, Christina, dropped in temperatures already since we first saw you at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, and you're feeling that already.
Oh, yeah, 87 from 92. And I've been in the shade, but it's definitely, you're feeling it go down. And as it gets, later in the evening, as, Adam was telling us, it's going to be in the 60s tonight. And that's at least what makes it tolerable at night for people without air conditioning, because then that becomes impossible.
I love
But
that.
we still got a hot stretch ahead of us. So, just keep that in mind. Plan for it.
But I love that 5 degrees cooler. We'll take it.
Anything.
Thanks, Christina. Question now, how hot did we get today? What's the rest of the week looking like? Here's Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger with your forecast.
Fox 11 Weather is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino.
I'm glad you asked how hot did it get today, because sometimes you'll get people saying, like, why is this such a big deal? Okay, it's hot. It's not, a lot of hundreds. But for March, this is unprecedented, this heat wave to be this hot and for this long of a stretch. And we'll talk a little bit more about those numbers in a moment. Here's a live view, by the way, in Santa Monica, where it's feeling a little bit better. Along the coast, we saw the sea breeze kind of kick in the afternoon, where when it stayed hot farther inland, it started to cool down a little sooner along the coast. So that's not too bad. And there's not too much wind at the beach, which is nice if you want to have like the umbrella up or something for some shade. It's not like it's going to get, blown away or difficult to have up or something like that. All right, looking at some numbers, we talked about this about a half hour ago at the top of our newscast, but it was a record for today's date. That wasn't a surprise. The record to beat was 94. We got to 98. But the hottest it's ever been in any day in March in LA, and the records go back to the 1800s. The hottest number ever recorded, 99 degrees in March. We got to 98 today, 1 degree away from tying the hottest March day ever. So that's significant just today alone. But you consider the fact that tomorrow and Thursday and Friday will all essentially be about as hot as what we saw today. That altogether is what makes this heat wave unprecedented. Here's a look at the temperatures right now. So yes, we're starting to see some of the numbers lower. We still have very hot readings in the far inland areas, though, in the valleys, the Inland Empire. You see the 90s there. It's 90 downtown. Anaheim's at 94. Santa Ana at 88. Down to Long Beach still reporting 96. But again, we've got 80s and even some 70s showing up along the coast with a little bit of relief right there. And of course, yes, the temps will keep going down as we go later into the evening. A lot of our region will fall to 60s at some point tonight. So, cooling off a little bit there, but then a big ramp up of the temperatures tomorrow. Now, it's possible that we maybe are a little like 1 or 2 or 3 degrees cooler in some areas tomorrow compared to today. But still, it's going to be very hot. Lots of widespread 90s to near 100 inland. Here's the culprit. It's not just that we have high pressure overhead. Yes, that's making for some hot air, but this is a record strength high pressure for March that's over us, and it's not moving at all through the week. You see through Friday, it's still overhead, just maybe like barely moving a little bit. Now, it will start to back down, head a little farther south this weekend, which allows our temperatures to come down. Still, it's going to be warm for March, though. And then look what happens as we go into next week. It actually starts to kind of swing back our direction, maybe not as strong as it is right now, but still, we've got more very warm for March days to go. Over the next 7 days, look at the complete lack of any rain across a huge part of the country. That is, of course, happening with this large dome of high pressure over so much of the area. The 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, warmer than normal. We know it's going to be warmer than normal through this week, but in the long term, here's the 8 to 14 day. Again, a long stretch of warmer than normal temperatures. I know we're a little low on time here, but I just want to show you these next few days. That's for LA, the 7 day. We get to the 80s this weekend into next week. For the coast, we've got you in the 80s through Friday, 70s over the weekend, and we'll end it with the valleys, the IE, around 100 the next few days, 90s Saturday, 80s Sunday. Christine?
Nice drop on the weekend there. All right, we are taking you back to this scene here. Remember this from the top of the hour, a sheared hydrant in Encino. It's still going. You do see fire crews there on the scene working that one, but you hate to see all that water being wasted. They're working to turn it off. LADWP there on scene too.
Students are repeatedly using racial slurs on campus, and athletic teams are hosting modern-day blackface parties.
Only on Fox 11, those shocking allegations of racism on a local college campus. Students at Pomona College reporting several alleged instances involving students, even a faculty member. Fox 11's Nick Garcia live at Pomona College in Claremont with what those students are saying and how the school is responding. Nick.
Right, Christy. Well, Pomona College recently sent an email out to students, actually sent that email last week, addressing and acknowledging a string of racially charged incidents, including that faculty member using a racial slur. Watch. Allegations of rampant racism on the Pomona College campus in Claremont. Students say several athletes have repeatedly said the N-word and have not faced consequences for it. The school's Black Student Union calling out the administration's lack of response on social media.
We are truly disgusted by how Pomona has been handling these cases of overt racism.
Students tell us they received an email from the school last week.
There were so many allegations of this happening. And then also that they were telling everyone essentially like that a faculty member had done it.
A professor is accused of saying the N-word.
Like if it's just something that's verbatimly being said, without it being a part of what we're learning, it would concern me a little bit, yeah.
It is unclear the context in which the racial slur was used.
I think it's fair to say that there could have been more done, and I think there's definitely a bit of frustration around like a lack of response to things that are making students feel uncomfortable on campus.
The email to students did not address any disciplinary action taken. Student Michael says he has not personally experienced racism on campus, but says he knows people who have.
I do have friends who are like prominent in our BSU space where they are the ones running into this, and we are going to be hosting a town hall post spring break to talk about these things, and they're going to voice their opinions about these things.
The college sent Fox 11 a statement saying, when informed of incidents, we follow our internal processes, offering affected students support and investigating and determining appropriate response actions. Because we are legally required to protect the privacy of individuals in our community, we cannot share additional details.
As non-black students of color, as like Asian students or Latino students, Arab students, like I think we all have a role to play in not being complicit in anti-blackness around us.
Now, you saw the statement there from the college. It says that they offer support to students impacted. Black Student Union, though, says that they do not feel the support offered by the campus has been sufficient. Likely, that'll be one of the topics of the town hall meeting they're hosting here on campus next Wednesday. That's March 24th. We'll see how that goes. Live in Claremont, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Okay, so they're talking about it. Nick, thank you. For the first time in more than 10 years, oil is flowing through a controversial pipeline in Santa Barbara. Sable Offshore Corporation resumed oil flow this week after the Trump administration invoked the Defense Production Act. That executive order overrides state regulators who closed the pipeline in 2015 after a pipe burst, resulting in one of the worst oil spills in California. Protesters are rallying against the oil project, raising environmental concerns. Yesterday, actors Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jane Fonda joined a protest and community meeting in Santa Barbara.
Right now, humanity is facing the most serious threat in all of our existence.
I am baffled that a corroded pipeline is even being considered for restart.
The Trump administration says the goal is to bring fuel prices down, saying the restart will boost California's domestic oil supply by more than 15%, with an additional 1 to 2 million barrels of oil per month. The company is also making safety improvements to the pipeline.
When this pipeline is completely repaired, it'll be the safest pipeline in the state of California. It'll stabilize supply and it'll lower gasoline prices at a time when we all need lower prices.
State officials are demanding the company remove the pipeline. If Sable Offshore Oil refuses, the state's Department of Parks and Recreation plans to take legal action. Still had a fiery spectacle in the sky, seen for miles. The eye-popping data NASA revealed about a meteor tracked over Ohio. A local dance academy with global ambitions, with the dancers stepping their way to the World Irish Dance Championships. And Sham rocking in Ireland, a live look. This is Dublin in Ireland. It's past midnight. The St. Patrick's Day celebrations are still going on. Looks like they even have like green lighting. Just the atmosphere looks green. The music in the background looks like a lot of fun. In Ireland. St. Patrick's Day celebrations were off to an early start in Ireland. Locals in the town of Dingle launching its annual holiday parade before sunrise. The national tradition stems from former restrictions imposed by the British in the 1870s, which banned gatherings between sunrise and sunset. The sights and sounds of St. Patrick's Day filling the air in Midtown Manhattan. Pipes and drums have been marching up Fifth Avenue just like this for 265 years. A tradition that delights the crowd, from the high school bands to public officials like Mayor Mamdani. It's a New York tradition that welcomes all. Here locally, plenty of people in the spirit at Hennessy's in Dana Point. Oh, that looks delicious. Is that a corned beef sandwich? Okay, I'll take one right there. Looks like it might be on some rye or some sourdough. Delish. Oh yeah, I see the corned beef. Oh, so hungry. Live look there from inside the kitchen where they are grilling up also corned beef burgers. Hennessy's, thanks so much for having us out with you today on St. Paddy's Day. What a better way to spend St. Paddy's Day than doing a little Irish dancing? Fox 11's Brooke Thomas took a trip to Studio City to check out a Celtic Irish dance academy.
Hey there, I'm here with some of the coolest kids ever. They are dancers, and this is a big day for you guys. Leo, first of all, how old are you?
I'm 8 years old.
And you have something really cool to show us, right? Can you grab it? Okay, what is this? How did you get this trophy? You won something, right?
Yeah, there are these big competitions in Irish dancing called majors,
Yeah?
and one of them is called a Rocktus, and I won it.
That's amazing. Congratulations, Leo. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to take this off of your hand so that you can just show us what you do, and I'll talk to Maeve. Is that okay? Okay, I'll take this. Okay, come on over, Maeve. They're gonna show us what they know. He's going to show us why he earned this trophy. Basically, talk to me about the Celtic Irish Dance Academy.
Yeah, the Celtic Irish Dance Academy is our studio here on Ventura Boulevard. We teach kids and adults from ages 4 right all the way through. Like, everyone is welcome here. If you want to do competitive dance, non-competitive dance, just for fun, for fitness, it's a space for everyone.
Yeah. And there must be so much pride in this. You know, you're Irish and these kids love this. They're winning trophies. How does that feel?
Yeah, Leo just won the regional Oireachtas, which when he's old enough, he'll qualify for the World Championship. So it's a great accomplishment. But yeah, I feel so proud. Obviously, being Irish, and it's what these kids are doing today is what I did as a kid. So I just love passing on what feels right to me and the culture of Ireland. Yeah.
This is awesome. Okay, I'm going to send things back to you all in the studio. What a great way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle Kraska. Heading to sports. The Lakers heating up at the perfect time. 6 wins in a row now. We're going to hear from the team as they aim for the 3 seed in the West with less than a month to go to the regular season. Also ahead, it has been over 3 years since we've seen Tom Brady play football, but he's going to suit up this weekend right here in L.A. We'll hear from TB12 about a new venture he's taking part in on the field.
Fox 11 Sports Desk is brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys.
Well, how about the Lakers, one of the hottest teams in the NBA, winning their 6th in a row last night, beating the Rockets in Houston. And that win puts them a game and a half ahead of Houston in the race for the 3 seed, with 14 games to go in the regular season. The Lake Show doing it with defense last night. Austin Reeves picking off an ugly pass, then feeding LeBron James for the slam and sealing it for LA. The Lakers had 14 steals last night, the most of the game since they had 17 back in January. Lakers win their 6th in a row. They will play the Rockets again in Houston tomorrow night in a rare back-to-back.
Our offense is, top of the top, very talented. So, adding some defense like this, it makes us a really dangerous team.
I just thought we guarded with 5 guys. Rotations were sharp tonight. Katie's one of the best scorers to ever play the game, and going into the game, you know that, and you're going to have to throw different coverages at him, but you have to be able to, change things on the fly and be able to know rotations, all stuff like that. So it was a good, team defensive night.
Hey, how about this? Tom Brady will be back on the football field this weekend right here in LA. On Saturday, the Fanatics Flag Football Classic is happening at BMO Stadium. It's 5-on-5 flag football with plenty of star power. Scheduled to play, among others, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., Rob Gronkowski. I talked to Tom earlier today and asked him how he got such elite talent to participate in this event.
Everybody wanted to play, and I think everyone wants to kind of see where they're at in terms of this game. It's been kind of a focus of the Pro Bowl games over the years, but this game's going to be a lot different. It's going to be way more competitive. Guys really kind of want to feel it out because I think a lot of these guys that are playing in this game want to go for the gold in a couple years. So to test their skill set, to see where they're at, to understand the differences in the competitive game of football that so many of the pros have played, but now, okay, you're going to a little bit of a different sport, a little different format. But we're going to see who really matches up.
It was fun talking to TB12. The Fanatics Flag Football Classic is this Saturday at BMO Stadium, and we will be carrying it on Fox 11 beginning at 1 o'clock. If you want to see it in person, tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. All right now, Team USA is battling Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. We will have that for you coming up tonight. It's on Channel 11, and as soon as it's over, we will have a special edition of Sports Wrap to break it all down. So I will see you again tonight at 10 for Good Night LA as well. Christine, take it away.
A meteor caught on camera in multiple states. The American Meteor Society received reports from Wisconsin to Maryland. NASA did confirm the 6-foot-7-ton asteroid first appeared above Lake Erie. 7 tons, roughly 14,000 pounds, a little more than the weight of a large pickup truck. NASA says the fireball blazed southeast, going at least 40,000 miles per hour before exploding and fragmenting over Valley City, Ohio. The boom shook homes in Cleveland, but most of it did burn up before hitting the ground. It's a good thing, right? Ahead in entertainment, music legend announced a 2-night-only, very intimate appearance here in Los Angeles. Plus, our first look at the highly anticipated conclusion to the Dune trilogy by Timothée Chalamet. The live look outside at the beach in Santa Monica. It is gorgeous out. Be right back. One last look in this 5 o'clock hour at Hennessy's. Oh yeah, I see a whole lot of green. So the night is young on the St. Patty's Day. Fun to be out there. Here at work though. In entertainment, let's talk about that. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, and Javier Bardem return in Dune 3. Here's our first look.
War feeds on itself. The more I fight, the more our enemies fight back.
The movie is set 17 years after Part 2. Timothée Chalamet returns as the warrior prince, chosen to become emperor and initiate a holy war. Robert Pattinson is a new villain. Jason Momoa is back as Duncan Idaho along with his real-life son. Dune Part 3 comes out December 18th. Sir Paul McCartney is coming to Hollywood. He announced 2 intimate shows at the Fonda Theater. The dates are March 27th and 28th. The Beatles legend told fans to register by tomorrow night at 10 on the Fair AXS platform, which the singer says gives every fan an equal shot at tickets. There's a 2-ticket limit. Tickets are non-transferable. Talk about intimate. The Fonda only holds about 1,000 people.
I've known you for ages, it's all that I've heard. My friends are in love with American girls.
Harry Styles' latest album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, has debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top 200 chart with 430,000 units sold in the U.S. alone in the first week. Styles also had 2 songs off the album in this week's top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, with American Girls debuting at #4. The album's lead single, Aperture, appearing at #9. Did you think he wouldn't be up there right away? He's so powerful. That's it for us at 5. Fox 11 News at 6 with Marla Tejas. What's next? What's next?
A little bit closer. We're starting to see the cooling effect in some locations, but still inland areas, lots of 90s, 80s as you get a little closer to the coast. We're down to about 80 degrees at Manhattan Beach right now and 79, a little more comfortable down at Huntington Beach in Orange County. All right, what about the next couple of days? It's basically going to be about the exact same. Maybe we're down like 1 or 2 degrees in some spots tomorrow. Here's what the rest of the evening looks like. Very warm out there, but at least into the 70s after about 9 o'clock after the sun sets, and then we'll get to the 60s once we get past midnight. So low temperatures tonight will be in the 60s, no cooler than that. And then here's where we go tomorrow as we're well into the 90s once again. Again, I think it might be 1 or 2 degrees cooler in some spots. Here's what it looks like in map form, and it's going to be similar to today. So lots of dangerous heat for the inland areas and some 80s along the coast tomorrow. We've got extreme heat warnings that last through Friday. Similar heat through then, a little cooler than over the weekend. We'll get to that 7-day a little bit later. Marla?
All right, Adam, very good. Thank you so much. Well, the San Fernando Valley is just one of many places where temperatures are creeping close to that century mark. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez, she's been talking to people trying to beat the heat, and she joins us now live from Sunland. Christina, when I spoke to you earlier in the shade, it was 92 degrees. What is it now?
Yeah. We are down to, let's take a look, 86. Not too bad. And you can feel it. It's actually, but it's still hot. And the people who are out here today in this really were the people who had to work in it. Take a look. Putting water in the portable air cooler at the auto shop. He has to do this every 4 hours.
What can I do? I don't have any choice. I have to do it.
People forget you have to work in the heat.
Yeah, we do. Come on, get you.
So does the food vendor at Gorditas Estilo Zacatecas.
Super hot today. It's 94. We're sweating right here in the middle of, right here in the tent.
Gotta laugh. You can't cry, say the flower vendors.
Bye-bye.
And the lady with an umbrella making her way to a bus stop for a trip to the doctor she cannot miss. No canceling jobs today, say the roofers picking up materials.
200 grados.
200 degrees, he says. That's how hot things can get up on a roof. When you're using a heat gun to install the roof underlayment, that's what goes under all these shingles, which have to get installed before it gets even hotter. When it's 88 before noon, those who work with animals like horse trainers try to get done early. Well, at least the horses are done. Still plenty of work for the humans.
It's so hot out right now.
You know, how these things weigh how much? About 100?
These bales right here particularly probably weigh over 110 pounds. Rain or shine, heat, doesn't matter. You got to keep going.
And back here live, these kids got to keep it going. Remember we talked earlier about it was too hot for them. Now it's not that hot. We have this little leaguers coming out here to practice. They were telling me off camera, actually, that the reason they purposely will practice in this kind of heat is because they got to travel to places like Arizona to play kids who are used to playing at 110 degrees. So they got to be competitive. You're going to hear from some of them in our 9 o'clock show. But definitely getting cooler. Just keep in mind, because it's March, we're not used to this. Our bodies are not used to it. It's not September where we've had a few months to acclimate. So keep that in mind and do not wait to be thirsty to drink the water. It's what the advice is from the doctors. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in Sunland. Back to you, Marla.
Great reminders. All right, Christina, thank you. On to this, only on Fox 11. Allegations of racism on a Los Angeles County college campus. Students at Pomona College report several alleged instances of students and even a faculty member using a racial slur. Fox 11's Nick Garcia, he's live for us at Pomona College in Claremont with what the students are saying and how the school there is responding. Nick?
Right, Marla. Well, Pomona College recently acknowledged a whole string of racially charged incidents in an email to students last week, including that incident in which a professor used a racial slur. Allegations of rampant racism on the Pomona College campus in Claremont. Students say several athletes have repeatedly said the N-word and have not faced consequences for it. The school's Black Student Union calling out the administration's lack of response on social media.
We are truly disgusted by how Pomona has been handling these cases of overt racism.
Students tell us they received an email from the school last week.
There were so many allegations of this happening. And then also that they were telling everyone essentially like that a faculty member had done it.
A professor is accused of saying the N-word.
Like if it's just something that's verbatimly being said, without it being a part of what we're learning, it would concern me a little bit, yeah.
It is unclear the context in which the racial slur was used.
I think it's fair to say that there could have been more done, and I think there's definitely a bit of frustration around like a lack of response to things that are making students feel uncomfortable on campus.
The email to students did not address any disciplinary action taken. Student Michael says he has not personally experienced racism on campus, but says he knows people who have.
I do have friends who are like prominent in our BSU space where they are the ones running into this, and we are going to be hosting a town hall post spring break to talk about these things, and they're going to voice their opinions about these things.
The college sent Fox 11 a statement saying, when informed of incidents, we follow our internal processes, offering affected students support and investigating and determining appropriate response actions. Because we are legally required to protect the privacy of individuals in our community, we cannot share additional details.
As non-black students of color, as like Asian students or Latino students, Arab students, like I think we all have a role to play in not being complicit in anti-blackness around us.
Now, the Black Student Union says the support that has been offered to them by the administration has not been sufficient. You can bet that'll be a topic of a discussion at their town hall meeting. You heard that student there mentioning they're having a town hall meeting next Wednesday. That's March 25th at 7 p.m. right here on campus. Marla?
Nick Garcia live for us there in Pomona. Thank you. Troubling allegations against one of the largest and most iconic Chicano figures in history. The United Farm Workers Union is halting Cesar Chavez celebrations over claims possibly involving abuse of young women or minors. Fox 11's Haley Winslow breaks down what we know so far.
For decades in LA, Cesar Chavez Day has meant marches, music, and a movement, all to honor a civil rights icon who fought for farm workers across California. Cesar Chavez co-founded the United Farm Workers Labor Union, leading strikes and boycotts that changed laws and inspired generations. But this year, the UFW and Cesar Chavez Foundation is canceling planned activities for the March 31st state holiday, following profoundly shocking allegations of historic abuse while serving as union president. In a statement Tuesday, the union says allegations that very young women or girls may have been victimized are crushing.
I think the good should outweigh the bad. I don't know. I haven't read anything about the allegations. And his legacy is really important for everyone. You know, freedom, así se puede, yes we can. You know, the pressure to the government of the United States for us as immigrants.
Other Cesar Chavez events will still go on, organizer Ruben Rodriguez says, including his, one of the largest, called March for Justice, that draws thousands.
The allegations being made have to be at least 60 years old, maybe 70. For the people here, we are dealing with real issues affecting the community. At least for the march we're having on the 22nd, we're asking for amnesty now.
From celebration to reflection, Cesar Chavez Day is taking on a different tone this year as the community grapples with how to honor a legacy that now feels more complex. Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
All right, still to come, with gas prices soaring, 2 California governor candidates have a plan to lower prices, plus an update on the Palisades rebuild with realtor and fire victim himself, Anthony Margulis. He joins me live in studio next. Well, just over 14 months since the devastating Palisades fire and the first fully completed rebuild to reach the open market has just been listed. We were hoping to show you a look at the rebuild. Maybe we can get that up and running. Let's just bring it into the conversation right now. This is Anthony Margulis. You are the founder of Palisades-based Amalfi Estates, a realtor himself, also a fire victim. You lost your house in the Palisades fire. You've really taken it upon yourself to keep track of the Palisades rebuild. Okay, so I just mentioned that it's been, we know this, just over 14 months. The first fully rebuilt home has now hit the market. Now, we lost 5,900 homes, right? And of course, we, as in the community, did. Just one fully rebuild now? I mean, that seems like slow progress, no?
The progress is actually doing very, very well. We're about 700 homes have gotten permit approvals.
Okay.
Many, many homes are under construction. There's over 600 properties under construction. We just happen to be the first one that's for sale. Several others are owner users, and there's hundreds of homes right behind us that are going to be coming on the market. So we're excited to be the first. It's a great developer who's building it. It was open today, first open house.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting some really good feedback.
Okay, good. Opened on St. Patrick's Day.
On St. Patrick's Day.
I'm lucky.
Got the green.
Got the green. I see your shamrocks there as well. All right, so obviously this is a look at the devastation. You mentioned about 700 homes have those rebuilding permits. You have some good informational graphs that we want to show people. And typically these don't necessarily do great on television, but if we could put these up, I think that this is important to see. If we have those in the booth, there we go.
Okay.
What do we make of this one here? Because
so
we have 483 sold.
Yeah, so 483 lots have sold. If we take the active properties that are on the market, lots, and we take the ones in escrow, and we take the ones that have sold, it's approximately 683, approximately. That's about half of what we think will come on the market. So we're halfway there for the properties that we believe will come on the market.
Okay.
We believe about 25% of the lots, when I say properties, of the lots will come on the market of the 5,900. That's what we believe.
Okay, and what's the ultimate takeaway though from that?
The ultimate takeaway is we're halfway there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're halfway there. We need them to come on the market, and we need owner users or developers to purchase them to start construction. And the other good news is the permitting, which is the next slide. We're showing 100 permits a month now are coming on. There's a great website called palibuilds.com, and a couple gentlemen have started it. It's amazing. If you want to go on there, it has real time of what's happening on the permit level. So we started off with 5 or 6 in March. Now we're averaging 100 new permits approved every month.
Okay, and 5 to 6 approvals last March of
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay,
and we
so
expect it to go 200.
Okay,
Yeah.
a month. So we're
200
going
a
to
month.
pick up the pace. What can the city do better in this?
So it's interesting. It's not the city issue. The permits are fine. They're averaging about 100 to 110 days to get permit approvals right now,
Okay.
which is really fast. It's the insurance payoff. Insurance payoffs is the problem right now. That's the real, we need to put a lot of our energy into getting the insurance companies to pay off what they're supposed to so people can start rebuilding their house.
We've reported on that very issue. What's the answer there?
Wow, someone smarter than me. A lot of pressure on the government, on politicians, and on the insurance commissioner to do what's right and pay off people and not stall and have delays.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know I put you on the spot on that one, but it is a big issue that is slowing rebuilds, not just in the Palisades, but in Altadena, of course, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, well, you have been tracking it and joining us with that information, and we thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and I know your rebuild is coming along too, so your personal rebuild.
Yeah, we're excited. We just finished our second floor framing.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah,
good,
we're
good,
seeing
good.
progress.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Anthony Margulis from Amalfi Estates, based in the Palisades. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marla. I appreciate it.
Fox 11 Weather is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino.
All right, well, we just... Oh, go ahead.
No, we can do it together. Yeah, how beautiful is this shot from atop Mount Wilson? And Adam, this is all about you because it's so hot out there.
I was just so excited to get to this heat, but I was going to say that we basically just made it through one of the hottest March days we've ever seen in this region. It got to 98 downtown LA today. Hottest it's ever been in March is 99, so we're flirting with like all-time records there. It does look nice. It didn't feel nice in many spots today, though, and the next few days are going to be pretty much identical. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, similar heat. Let me show you the numbers, though. Again, I mentioned the 98-degree high. For the date, the record was 94, so we knew we were going to break that, and we did. But again, 99 is the hottest it's ever been in March for downtown LA. Those records go back to the 1800s. So that's why this heat wave is so significant, not just how hot it is, but how long it's lasting. It's a long-duration heat wave. You'll remember, actually, going back to last week. We're going to see similar dangerous heat, though, through Friday. That means inland 90s to around 100. Still warm this weekend, but at least inland areas will back down to 80s. It's all because of this unusually strong area of high pressure we have bringing the heat right here. Meanwhile, it's the opposite problem. On the other side of the country, they've got very cold temperatures for March, and as you see, some snow across parts of the Midwest and across the east. Now, this high is not going to move much for the next couple of days. Through Friday, it's pretty much anchored over Southern California, the Southwest, so our heat doesn't change a whole lot. It does back down a little bit as we head into the weekend, and then as we look into next week, if you're wondering about the long-term pattern, it won't be as strong when it returns, but we do see high pressure back next week, which means it's going to be warmer than normal for quite a long time. And NOAA's Weather Prediction Center agrees. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook here. So this takes us beyond the next week. We're going to be warmer than normal for sure during that time frame. And the 8 to 14 day outlook, you see the dates right there. That takes us to the end of the month, March 31st. And it's likely to be warmer than normal. And by the way, every day so far this month has been warmer than normal. So it could be a complete sweep. All 31 days of March may end up being warmer than normal. We know that's the case here in the short term. What is normal? What is average, by the way? 70 degrees for the high for LA. So it's way up in the 90s for these next couple of days here, mid and upper 90s. We're in the 80s on Saturday and Sunday, and we hold in the 80s, which is still warm next week, just not, an incredible heat wave like we have right now. For the coast, it's going to be 80s through Friday, 70s over the weekend. Very nice weekend at the coast. Valley's Inland Empire going to be right up around 100 degrees for a couple of days here. Saturday, a little bit cooler. Sunday into the 80s. I want to show you a few more regions here for the mountains. Very warm for March, in the 80s for the next couple of days. In the high desert, we're way up into the 90s through Saturday. And in the low desert, pretty incredible numbers here. Well over 100 through the rest of this week. And we're back right after this break.
Welcome back. Several candidates for governor have a plan to reduce your pain at the gas pump. Democrats Matt Mahan and Antonio Villaraigosa are calling for California's 61-cent per gallon gas tax to be suspended, as well as a rollback of refinery regulations. Now, this mirrors the platforms of Republicans Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco. Meanwhile, State Senator Tony Strickland of Huntington Beach introduced a bill last month to immediately eliminate the gas tax. Governor Newsom has resisted so far, warning that suspending the gas tax benefits oil companies more than consumers. Now, speaking of prices of gas continue skyrocketing here in Southern California. The average price per gallon in LA County is up to $5.63. Orange County is $5.60. That's the same in Ventura County, Riverside County $5.51, and San Bernardino County sits at $5.53 per gallon. As the Middle East situation evolves, Fox is partnering with the Red Cross to support U.S. service members and their families. You can support our troops by following the QR code on your screen. Your donation helps the service to the armed forces meet their rapidly changing needs. All right, ahead, it's been over 3 years since we've seen Tom Brady play football, but he's going to suit up this weekend right here in LA. We will hear from the 7-time Super Bowl winner about his new venture. That's next.
Fox 11 Traffic is sponsored by the law offices of Jacob M. Ronnie.
All right, let's take a look at that traffic that's trying to improve right now compared to last hour. We'll come in first down into Orange County. We see a wreck on the 5 North. There's some slow travel leading up to that. Maybe it's beginning to improve a little bit, more like yellow instead of orange and red. On the south side, we see 405 southbound, an issue right here, and then 10 west heading, let's say, towards Santa Monica. There's a stall and a wreck. 10 west right here, 101 north near Hollywood. We have a wreck backing things up, and finally up into the valley, 101 north, which is kind of like west around Sherman Oaks. We have a stalled vehicle with some slow travel. Now we'll look at some other traffic hotspots.
I looked up and just ran.
Maybe we need to seek somebody who does have the expertise to be able to guide us through the process.
If you're getting to an accident,
You're in good hands by dealing with Jacob and Ron.
call Jacob.
Tom Brady will be on the sidelines this weekend for the Fanatics Flag Football Classic. It's this Saturday at BMO Stadium. 5-on-5 flag football with plenty of star power. Scheduled to play in this one, Saquon Barkley, Myles Garrett, Odell Beckham Jr., and Rob Gronkowski. Fox 11 Sports Director Kyle Kraska, he talked to the former QB and Fox Sports broadcaster earlier today, asked him how he got people to participate in this league.
everybody wanted to play. And I think everyone wants to kind of see where they're at in terms of this game. It's been kind of a focus of the Pro Bowl games over the years, but this game's going to be a lot different. It's going to be way more competitive. Guys really kind of want to feel it out because I think a lot of these guys that are playing in this game want to go for the gold in a couple years. So to test their skill set, to see where they're at, to understand the differences in the competitive game of football that so many of the pros have played, but now, okay, you're going to a little bit of a different sport, a little different format. But we're going to see who really matches up.
Well, the Fanatics Flag Football Classic, again, it's this Saturday at BMO. We will carry it here on Fox 11. That starts at 1 p.m., so you can look forward to that. And finally, this is the scene tonight at Hennessy's Tavern in Dana Point, where they are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. The holiday honors Ireland's patron saint and draws millions of happy revelers. Over 30 million Americans proudly claim Irish ancestry. So whether you're Irish or just Irish for the day, happy St. Patrick's Day. And speaking of, let's just go to Dublin, Ireland. How about that? Here's a live look at Dublin, Ireland on this St. Paddy's Day, where it is almost 1:30 in the morning. I think this is Temple Bar. It's one of the most famous bars, known for having an incredible amount of whiskey, apparently, quite the whiskey collection. 1:30 in the morning, and people are just seemingly getting started there. That is it for the 6 o'clock. Stay tuned for Live Now from Fox.